All right, soft field landings, okay? How are we gonna execute this? How are we gonna configure the aircraft and whatnot? So first off, how do we configure the aircraft? In RPOH, it says 75 miles an hour, full flaps. Why do we want full flaps on a soft field landing? Like I said, when we increase flaps, what does that do? That increases lift. So that minimizes the weight of the aircraft on that wet, sloppy, or rough landing surface, okay? Why do we come in at 75 miles an hour, not 65 miles an hour? You'll see this whenever you fly the maneuver. Whenever I get down here, the whole objective is to just transition the aircraft and just to make the nice, easy touchdown as I can. Okay, if I come in at 65 miles an hour, I chop the power. Difference between 65 and 75 miles an hour is 10 miles an hour. That's big whenever you're landing, okay? And that's big time-wise. If I pull the power to idle at 65 miles an hour, I might only have a second and a half to get the aircraft down to where I want it, and then it's boom, gonna touch down. If I'm coming at 75 miles an hour, that gives me more time to kind of feel the runway where it's at and just make a nice, easy touchdown, okay? So for this maneuver, 75 miles an hour, full flaps, we're gonna come in. Once you know you have the landing surface made, don't chop that power all the way to idle, because when you chop it all the way to idle, you have a limited amount of time before the airspeed bleeds off and it goes into the stall, okay? So what we do is we reduce the power to about 1,400 RPMs, somewhere in that area, 1,300, 1,500, depending on the wind type of situation that's going on. And what that does is that it keeps that speed from bleeding off so quick. It will bleed off because we're coming in with full flaps. In our system, we have 40 degrees of flaps. It's like barn doors hanging out on the wings. It really creates a lot of drag, really wants to slow you down. So once you get down there, you know, get real nice and close to the pavement, just kind of work it, work it, work it, work it. As soon as it just barely touches the main wheels on your landing surface, reduce the power to idle and ease that yoke all the way back. What that does is that keeps the nose from slamming down in that mud, getting caught, flipping upside down, or landing on that really rough landing surface and doing some damage to your nose gear or propeller. So you transition, nice easy touchdown, yoke back, power back, yoke back, and then don't add any brakes, because like we talked about earlier in this video, when you do that, that's going to cause that nose to pitch down and get caught in the mud also. So when I land, power to idle, yoke back, no brakes, and I say that to the examiner, yoke back, no brakes. So he has a clear understanding that I know how to execute this maneuver and all the different items associated with this maneuver. So let's go check out with Peter out on the flat line, and so you can kind of see how this maneuver is executed.